Hello and welcome back to the Google APIs in Rust and YouTube Uploader development stream. It's Byron speaking, and for today we basically have to get rid of all these issues and set up basically the initial design for the upcoming or for the to be implemented simple command line tools. And I think that's very doable, even though I just have like 3 hours left. So no time to lose here. So what am I doing next? I think this one. Result should be standard OK and error enumeration. And thanks to my uploading that is happening in the background, it takes a long time to even get there. Okay, so what we currently have, and I think that's the main problem here, the main annoyance that annoys me primarily. Let me show you. Groups migration, will you please just not publish, not, yeah, like that. And I actually want to open this. I think I had the link somewhere there, probably because I opened it last. Come on. It's like 700 lines of code and it takes 2 seconds to do that. But anyway, that will eventually improve. Here we go. As you can see here, the result structure is massive, and it's also non-standard because result is usually, OK or error. And I think I should stick to that. And what I will do is I will have an OK, which is my success, and I have one error, which contains like maybe an hierarchical error thing. So we have got authentication errors and this and that. So we kind of group this stuff, and you can dig in hierarchically and kind of have multiple matches in case you're interested in particular cases. And yeah, I think that's much more rusty and provides a much nicer API. So how's this done? Let's have a look at I/O. I/O has recently been redesigned, and I'm just curious to see what kind of result and error types it provides. I think it should have a standard result type, C, which is just a type def using an I/O error. And I will do the same thing. I will have an error enumeration. Maybe I also want to, because that's rusty, right? So if I/O does it, then I think I should do it too, that's for sure. Learning from the masters, and I also like it, I mean, I'm kind of a bad example here for how not to do it, or a beginner's mistake, having massive enumerations that have the same name as standard types but are not the same. Good, so first of all, let's have a standard enum, which is error, and I'm already afraid to compile anything because it will totally destroy my build for now. And type T here, I think it's just a result type, which is fine, so we don't need anything special here. Let's just move this stuff around. Oh yeah, let's make the type def right away. So we have pub type result, which is an std results of type T and our error, and that's really it. Thank you. And we should be able to have standard types here. I don't know if I want to do this or if I have to do this. I might actually try without for now, because if this is not necessary at all, I mean, I wouldn't know why it's necessary. I think I just put it in because I wanted to see if that works, and it does. Now I don't. Good. So now let's take out basically all this stuff and just put it there. And this stuff is not even needed anymore. I mean, success. It's now going to be okay. And that one here, I think, could be the documentation for our gorgeous type definition here. And we are done, at least for now. Okay, so now maybe I want to make it a bit more hierarchical. So we've got HTTP error, that's usually connection errors. And then several flags. That's an authentication issue. Field clash. This is a configuration issue. That is, well, it's also kind of a configuration issue because you pass something in that is not suitable, even though you currently don't have that information exposed in the API. So you can't ask for it in advance. You would have to check for that and kind of learn the hard way, but I think that's also okay. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would consider is to put these ones here into a separate enum, but it's also, the API key is just an edge case because only one or two APIs even allow for API key only operation, which basically means that no OAuth is needed. You just need to register your application on the Google Developer Console, and that is it. But really, that is rare. Most of the time, you wanna, not most of the time. Sometimes if you just query, like, give me the most uploaded YouTube videos for anyone, then you don't need authentication necessarily, but I have no experience with that. I'm just guessing here. Yeah, so I think for now, to keep it really, really simple, we'll keep this general error structure here and deal with that. And now it's really about fixing up all the code that is out there, and it's a lot. And the next thing that I would like to do, let's first have a look here. I think there are not too many cases where I use it. Probably I want to use search for at least whole words. Yeah, and the query transfer status, that's also part of this ticket here. It's also supposed to use a standard result, which, today, this morning, I had a look at this portion of the code and I thought, wow, this is really like super binary. And in fact, I'm not interested in any of the values. It's either okay or it's error. And that kind of pointed out what I really want to do here. So instead of returning an optional in the tuple, I want to return a result, std result, which has a non-optional, that's kind of the okay value here. And this hyper response is the non-okay value. Yeah, that should be it. So let's have a look at that first, just to be sure we return the right thing. So wherever I return explicitly here, everywhere. So good. So let's have a look at these return statements. So here it's basically await response. That's always a response, right? Actually, it is not. But wait, it was always that, huh? And if I return this error, oh. Wait, what was it before? Now I'm confused. There are way too many changes here that I didn't commit, apparently. Let me fix this. Let's check out again for now. It was updated automatically. Gorgeous. Yeah, it's amazing that this actually worked. Oh yeah, true. It's an HTTP result, so that's the big boy. I return everything. This is why that worked. Okay, so no worries here. Sometimes I'm a bit too paranoid, apparently. So here we just want to return. Where was I even? Here we just want to return error, and then we want to repack this into an hyper HTTP result error. But I think that's what possibly the type inference can do for me, right? So that looks like double, but we pack it into a standard result error, and then pack our error or HTTP error into a hyper HTTP result error, right? So we have a double result that we return here. Yeah, but that's how that looks like. What can I do? And here we just return indeed an OK with oh wait. No, he return an error. An error with an OK. An error with an OK in it, because we just didn't understand the header, right? So this is an HTTP result that is OK, and we repack it. And that's something I would like to do. I would like to be able to kind of use this object, but probably that's not possible anymore because it's basically unwrapped here. Anyway, so I repack it into our own error. And this is our actual success. So here we can now say, OK, and that's just a single value, and that is it. And yeah, so we have OK, and we have OK. That's the thing here that we want, and we have and now we can match it against. So no tuples anymore. This is an OK with our size, and this is an with the result in it, and we shall return our optional result. And you know, the definition of this func method here, which is purely internal, says that if it is none, the thing has been cancelled. Otherwise, it's the actual result, which can still be an error value, because we had a response from the server, we couldn't handle it, or it was something unexpected. Yeah, so that is that. So I think this guy should already. Oh no, wait, we have to check these. Return none. I think here we're already good, because that is still the same thing. That's all right. That was the main deal. And now, yeah, basically we could actually check on that one and say, well, first of all, I guess we want to import this. Let's go step by step. We have the result here. We should have our error here. That will also be re-exported. And just to be sure, there is a reserved a list with some keywords. Where is it? Like resource. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong search mode here. Reserved. Reserved types. Yeah, reserved types, I think it is. It's not reserved words. And let's put the error here, just to be sure we don't get name clashes when the schema also defines some type that is called error. And that should deal with that. Now we have it all. And I will just have a look at the R builder. Does it do anything with result? No, it doesn't do anything with error. I mean, no, error is new anyway. Result, that should still be fine. I mean, we just changed, it's still the same thing, and we can refer to it, but it now has a different internal structure. And that is the only thing that matters to that particular code. So we basically say we have an error of, yeah, that's basically our error code here, error E. And if that is the case, we match against E and have another match round here, like this. Otherwise, we have an OK with an unprintable value here, and that is that. This is really it already. And now we just have to change this into error. Yeah. I'm afraid of find and replace here, so I'm going through there manually. I could also do multi-line editing, but while I'm thinking about how to do that, I can actually do it myself. Good, so here we have a complete match. Looks a bit more structured, and we can still kind of combine fields here and make this an auth error or something, and see what we can do. Maybe there are other ways as well that I didn't even consider or don't know about. Who knows? Good, then let's see when we return an actual result. I think whenever we return a result, yeah, I might want to have a look at the code as well. while I'm on it. Okay, so here we define the result type, and what do we do? Sometimes we return a tuple. Ah, sure. Because we always return the hyper response, which can contain a body, that can contain a media download, for instance. And in case we did it, we also contain the deserialized response. And you know, I even think that some APIs have multiple return values, and I'm not currently sure if I handle that correctly. I mean, then deserialization will fail, but yeah, we'll figure that out, but we should keep it in mind eventually. Anyway, so that looks good, kind of, because that's our type T here. That is still free. And yeah, where else? Result. Okay, so here we return an error with an error upload exceeded. Oh, there is, I think that's where the parentheses want to be. 1, 2. No, 1, 2, 3. Really? Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Yeah. 3. I think that could be doing something useful. So now it's even clearer that we return an error, I think, which is good from that perspective. And here we have an error, yeah, of error field clash, like that. And here we have an error of error missing API key. And here it's an error of error missing token. And what else? HTTP error. Okay, error, HTTP error of our actual error, and then we return the rest. And I really love it to be able to encapsulate this so that I do not have to throw away information that could at least be presented to the user and thus help figuring out the root cause of the issue. And that's something you have a lot in libraries or something, that they just don't tell you what the heck is going on because the error happened somewhere and they just say, well, it didn't work. And I don't do that. Never. So here we have an error, general failure. Sorry, it's an error of our error type, general failure, that returns a response. It's not an HTTP error this time, but it is a response that that is not successful, obviously. Good. And it's actually quite easy to fix that error. Then we have an error. And here we have error and error. And do not forget, now that I'm kind of trying to be faster, do not forget to do the syntax right. And here it's error, failure. And now we are close to the end. Error, this. And last but not least, success. Yay! It's an okay after all. That's how this should look like. Okay. I like this result type. It's really the interesting thing is that the design, the pattern, let's just say, it emerges automatically. Because now that I have this massive result type, it kind of happened that I realized, well, it's kind of binary, right? It's like okay or it's an error. And then you want to put in more information. And this is really what result type is. Kind of similar with option, It's just, even if you wouldn't have known that you need that in advance, it's really just happening automatically. It's like natural, it's like physical constants, just there. It's our universe. All right, results. I think we are good. I mean, if that builds, it generates, that's good. And then we have a syntax error, 2, 4, not here, 2, 4, 5, because there obviously wants to be a semicolon, and even more, 508. Everything I touched here is wrong. Okay, there is that missing. Yeah, forgot about that. Standard results. All right. Let's try again. Good. And it's not, I hope I didn't do that everywhere. It's obvious. Upload size exceeded. That's all right. That is not all right. It's like this. Oh, and this is why I had the extra parenthesis that I didn't really understand. See, that's how it comes together. And it's compiling. Awesome. Let's try something bigger. YouTube 3. Generation worked. Compilation probably works as well. I shall also have a look at the docs that I didn't even regenerate yet. Let's background this. That's doc, the groups migration. Here we go. And any moment now. Oh yeah, we should test it, obviously, because that could reveal that our documentation hasn't been updated properly, because these are .c. That's what I mean. Failed to resolve. Okay, so I apparently do not use it. Groups migration result. See, that use is missing. Use. Where is it? Is it an mbuild? Is it here in the... Where am I putting these uses in? That's my question. Use. Here, that's the one. Request value type. No. Result, yeah. Here they are. Result and error. That's the ones that I'm using. And I think that should increase the chances of this to work. Nice. Let's rebuild the docs. Just because we can. Bada boom. Yeah, it's really just that thing that changed. Would be great if that would also be clickable, huh? One day. But that looks much better. It looks more rusty, let's say, because everybody knows results type. And I'm doing the same. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. That's very important. Let's have a look at the types themselves, how they look like. Because I would have, here it is. Here's error at least, but where's the result? The result type dev is not even in there right now. And that is weird. Good, so that's fine. That's still, that's awesome that these things link automatically even though it's in a different crate. That's gorgeous. The documentation is gorgeous generally. Nothing to say about that except for thumbs up, great, love it, great value. But where's my results? Come on. I could be smarter. Here it's a type definition. There it is. I wanted to approach it using a call builder because that one has to provide a result and I can click here. But also that works. A universal result type used as return for all action method results. Wow. For all calls, let's make it less complicated. Action method results for all calls. Good enough. Oh, and I also had one other documentation issue that comes to my mind now. I think it's an R build or an M build. Let's have a look. We come from one, but through a archive method. See, something is missing here. Instance. But through a instance. That is what it wants to be. Good. I think that concludes this one. That's just for the fun of it. Test YouTube. If group migration works, then YouTube will work as well. That's clear. Yet, I shall verify this just once to have a little more certainty. At some point I will rebuild everything anyway, and then I will see if something for some reason doesn't work, but usually these two are already a good sample set, quite representative. I mean, all right, let's prepare the commit in the meanwhile. Yeah, and I will not commit any of these because now I've checked in all the APIs that I currently build, and eventually, before I make a new release, I will regenerate them all and update them. Until then, I'd rather kind of clear out these changes here and regenerate when needed. Good, blah, 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 like this. And yeah, this is fix result. Use std result instead of custom. Remove custom enum, custom result enum. Instead, we just use a type. Well, a customized result type, and thus stick closer. Oops. To, well, what do I want to say? And thus stick closer to common Rust conventions. Like this. What else did we do? Some documentation improvements. Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, all the other stuff, it's in the code. Good enough. 39. Fixes 39. Good. That is that, and this should conclude this session, which so far has only been going on for 26 minutes. That's pretty good for me. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you around.